Aaron, I wonder if everything feels better around the Yankees when Judge has a big swing in a game.
Yeah, it was, and it give us some breathing room there. Game got a little short for us there, having to run through some pen, and it was a big swing to give us that cushion. I think that the bench was pretty pumped when that happened.
Other questions for Aaron? We'll go right up to front to the first row.
Thank you. Aaron, Gleyber Torres said earlier that he wasn't really happy with his season, especially in the first half, and this was his most important season of his career. And then he went out for 3 hits tonight. And can you go over what he's giving you guys from the leadoff spot? I know you talked about it earlier, but a little bit of after this particular game.
He's been excellent. It was a tough first half without question for him. But he started to find his way in the second half. In the final, I don't know what it was, 2 months of the season and now into the playoffs, he's just been a complete catalyst for us. Good at bat after good at bat, really consistently day in and day out now for going on a few months. And that's who he is. That's the kind of player he is. That's the kind of hitter he is. But he's been enormous for us.
Fourth row on your left, Aaron. Oh, sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
What did you see from Cole tonight?
I thought he was really good early. Really in good rhythm. I thought established his fastball and was mixing the other secondary pitches well too. Predominantly left-handed lineup tonight. Thought he made some really big pitches when he got in trouble there in the third to Ramirez to get him. He got him back-to-back cutters, and then just got a little out of the zone, in and out of the zone there. Kind of lost that good rhythm that he had going, I felt like, in the first few. But he grinded, competed really hard, but they just pressured him a lot those last couple innings where he got a little bit off. But fortunately, we were able to kind of piece it together there. But he got us off to a good start and gave us a chance to secure the second game.
A bit further to your left, Aaron.
Aaron, what's the feeling heading into Cleveland with a 2-0 lead?
Certainly, like right now, it always feels good to get wins in a series and in a playoffs. Obviously, knowing we have a day off tomorrow, we'll travel tomorrow, so we'll enjoy this tonight. But it's just you got to keep moving. We need 2 more here, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. We just talked about it's one game at a time, and excited to hand Clark the ball in game 3 and hopefully try and get another one.
Meredith, to your right.
Aaron, you mentioned piecing it together after Cole. You leaned on Tim Hill pretty heavy today, 5 outs for him. Just what did you think of his performance and once again the bullpen coming?
Yeah, they were great. Obviously Clay coming in a huge spot there to get us out of the 5th and keep the lead for us, and then Tim Hill was huge. Going from the bottom. I think I started him with Rocchio there. Had the 1-2-3 inning. Was considering going right to Tommy there in what would that have been, the 7th for Ramirez. But once we extended the lead by 2, I really wanted him to go back out and go through Naylor. He got both of them out, which was huge. And then I was able to shorten it a little bit there for Tommy. And Tommy gets 4 big outs for us, obviously, and we finishes it off. So great job by those guys down there. They did their job really well again tonight.
And on the offensive side, Judge added some insurance there in that 7th inning. You've always said you're not worried about him. Did you feel like it was just a matter of time until he connected with one?
Always a matter of time with Aaron. So I thought again he had some good swings tonight. A big sac fly to extend the lead a little bit there when he was behind in the count off a pretty tough customer and Smith there, able to fight that one off. The pop-up that they dropped, I thought he got a great swing off too. It's, one of those you just miss. It's that close to being a home run, but definitely good to see him, put one in the seats and really give us a cushion there.
I'll stay over there with Gary.
What did you think of Anthony Rizzo tonight, but also just the entire bottom of your order?
Yeah. Riz was great. Kind of same bullet he hit last night to get things started up the middle, and then really good at bat there off the lefty, to get us another tack-on run there, which really allowed me to send, Tim Hill back out there for 2 more big outs. It's those little things that are so important in the course of a game that allow you to navigate just a little bit easier. And then Anthony Volpe, more good at bats. Thought a great 2-strike hit to get his day started. I thought got some really good swings off, really encouraged by how he's looked here, really since the week of work before the division series, carried it into both series where I feel like he's having a lot of really good at-bats.
We'll go to Jake over there, and then we'll finish on the left here.
I'm just curious, based on these last 2 days, would you say that you're content with the performance the team delivered or, in these first 2? Are you happy with it? Are you enthused by it? Like, where are you at, given some of the the sloppy base running things that happened today?
It's about getting wins. Like, I mean, we're in the postseason. I mean, those things are going to happen. We're going for a double steal. If he gets thrown out at third, you don't say anything, but he got picked off doing it. So it's going to happen. We're not going to not be aggressive in certain situations. Try and guard against it as best we can. And then Riz just had a funky read on what he thought kind of ended up going to the backstop. So, I feel overall we're playing pretty well.
I'll finish up in the second row on your left.
Aaron, were you surprised at all when they decided to walk Soto to get to Judge, and how do you think he responded to that? It's not a common occurrence with him.
Not. I wasn't. I can't say I was totally shocked there. No, you never know. What a team. You got to pick your poison sometimes, and they were up against it a little bit in that situation, and going to Smith that early in the game, down 3. You're kind of trying to you need something to go really well to keep yourself in the game. So, sometimes you got to take a little bit of a shot that's a little bit unconventional.
Just how would you sum up your performance tonight?
It was all right. Bend, don't break. Clay picked us up. That was huge.
More questions? We'll go to Meredith.
It seemed like you made fairly quick work through the first 3 innings, and then that 4th inning and a little bit in the 5th. Obviously, things went a little bit the other direction. Bend, don't break, like you mentioned. What was different about the stuff?
I mean, I lost a little bit of the zone. A few too many walks again. But I think I think they threw a lot of quality at bats together, and they strung them together, and they obviously they won some of those long at bats, and they ended up putting enough pressure on us that didn't allow us to continue to cruise and keep going deep. So it's like kind of credit to them.
Or was back on your left, Gerrit?
Gerrit, I know it's always nice to get the early lead, but is it particularly nice in a postseason game?
Well, of course. The lead is always helpful as a starting pitcher. To be able to attack the strike zone and to stay on the offensive.
The second row on your left, Nate.
Gerrit, it seems like every night when Aaron Boone comes in here, we ask him about the job that the bullpen has done once again. I wanted to ask you about Austin Wells in regard to the bullpen. Like, just how hard is it for a rookie catcher to be out there handling different pitchers night in and night out and getting these kinds of results?
Yeah, Austin is obviously learning on the fly, being this his first experience in the postseason. He's doing a wonderful job. I think his continuity from game to game and then from pitcher to pitcher within the game, his communication is high, and he's got a game plan of how he wants to navigate throughout the game based on the weapons that different guys have. So I think it comes down to his preparation and his great instincts.
Up front on your left, Gerrit.
Congratulations on the win. Going forward, you have 3 games going in Cleveland. What's you guys' regimen and physically, mentally going to the next 3 games in Cleveland?
Yeah, so, the objective is to take it one day at a time. Tomorrow's recovery day with a light workout, get in and get some good sleep. And then, again, for the first game in Cleveland, that's the most important game on our schedule right now. And we'll be looking to stay on the attack from pitch 1 in that regard.
Do a couple more. Ron up front on your right.
When you gave up a couple of the soft singles and then went into the stretch and started to fall behind, is it just having to run around, draining, and start to lose the rhythm there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, relatively fair assessment. I mean, I alluded to that a little bit earlier in the sense that, some of the at-bats were just, quality at-bats that they just continue to win. It's just got to do better. Got to do better, Rob.
Anthony, 2 hits tonight, a hit yesterday. What do you think has allowed you to come in and have immediate success despite the injury and despite the layoff?
Just stayed with it. The ALDS, tried to keep my adrenaline as high as I could for the guys in the dugout the entire time and just stay locked in and focused on every guy's at bat and how they were pitching them just to stay in the flow of the game. And, with an injury like this, there's not a lot I can do in between games, so it's just recovery, and less is more at the plate. So just really trying not to hurt it.
How does it feel after 2 games?
It feels good. It feels, today was a big day, just back to back. We woke up pretty sore, but we're doing recovery. Right after the game, we have stuff going. I'll spend another couple hours here doing recovery stuff, and tomorrow I'll be right back at it.
On your left, Anthony, Peter.
How would you describe the impact of the bottom of the order today?
It's huge. Our bottom of the order could be the top of our order. If our top of the order is so potent and so good, we know our role down at the bottom. We just want to get it to the next guy, and that's been our mentality. And how close we are as a team, I think it really shows, because all we're trying to do is just get it to the next guy.
And what was your reaction to Aaron's home run? It seemed to really get the dugout going.
Yeah, a little disappointed in Glaber for not knowing Judge's pop there, but we were giving him a lot of ribbing him a lot about that. But it's a big swing for Judgy. He's had really good at bats. He's come up big situations, but to get the home run, Oppo, it was a really easy swing, and he's the best in the business at that.
Up front on your right, Ron.
How much of a lift when Aaron homers does it give the whole dugout? It seems that it's a jolt every time, 59 times now this year?
Yeah, I think the preparation he does, who he is as a person, who he is as a teammate, it's so easy to root for him. In these games, it really doesn't matter who it is, how excited we are for everyone. But when Aaron does stuff, it's extra special just because he's such a special human being.
Good, Bruce.
Anthony, every game hasn't been a Rembrandt in the playoffs, but it's all about winning anyway. What do you think about the way you guys are grinding and getting wins in the postseason here?
It's been amazing. It really starts with Boone. Boone's been pulling the right triggers, leaving the starters in, giving them the leash, going to the bullpen, making all the right moves. And it's been a lot of fun seeing him manage, even from the DS too, just sitting on the bench. And our guys we're coming in every day prepared. We're not satisfied. We know the Guardians are a very, very good ball club, and being up 2 games means nothing to us. We need to go into there. It's going to be hostile, and take care of business.
Gabe in the second row, and then Brendan.
Anthony, what have you seen in Judge's ability to kind of compartmentalize not having the big hit with also taking good at bats? I think his OBP was 364 in the playoffs coming in. How does he, I guess, stay on focus and still put together great plate appearances, and then eventually what happens tonight comes?
When he's going well, he's still working on his swing and tweaking things and going about his business the same way when he's quote-unquote not going well. The only place that he's not doing well is maybe in some of the papers, but I'm pretty confident. I know he doesn't really look at any of that. So whatever the narrative outside of this is the narrative, but inside he does not falter from who he is every day.
Go to Brendan, straight to your right.
Anthony, understanding Giancarlo didn't have a big night offensively tonight, but he has been huge this series. What has he meant to you as a teammate since you've been here?
He's very steady Eddie. He comes in, he's so professional. He does his work. He knows who he is, and it's been a lot of fun. I've played against him for a while, and just coming in and getting to play with someone of his caliber of a player. He seems like he's extra locked in, and when that's the beauty of this team. When he has a quote unquote, I guess, an off night, other guys pick him up, and if we're gonna keep going, that's the way it has to be for sure.
Do two more, Brian, and then on your left.
Anthony, Aaron Boone was telling us before the game that he was surprised how good your at-bats looked yesterday. Does any part of this surprise you, that you've been able to come in here after 16 days off and pick up where you left off?
Yes and no. I mean, I kind of relate it to when I've had like back issues in the past, and you're just trying not to blow out your back. That's what I say. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but so you don't really focus on the game as much. You just focus on being easy. And when you could be in that mindset, I think it really helps as a player. I cannot do too much, or I think my hand will fall off. So, but I felt really good ending the year for a little while. I felt like I found something I've been searching for a while, so I just want to roll with it.
Fourth row on your left, Anthony.
Anthony, what kind of a lift have you gotten from the bullpen throughout the playoffs, including tonight?
We're going as far as they take us. They are our dogs. They're the front liners. They come in. They're ready for every guy who's down there. We have full confidence in, and like I said, Boone's firing it on all cylinders, and they're ready. They've been worked a lot, but they are mentally prepared for this, and I think it's good they know how much we have their back, because they're every bit of part of this team as much as the guys that are playing every day.
We'll finish up on the fourth row on your right with Andrew.
Anthony, when they walked Soto in the second inning to set up the bases loaded with Judge, what was your reaction to that? And did that make sense to you, or kind of what was your reaction when you saw that?
I mean, you're picking your poison there. It's the playoffs. It's it's a big spot. I'm personally probably not doing that, but you set up a double play. I respect Stephen Vogt I've respected him so much as a player, and what he's doing as a manager has been amazing. His first year, I think he's been out of the game for 2 years now. So, it takes a lot of courage to do that move, and ultimately we got the sac fly, but he definitely respected as a player, probably playing behind him too.
Hi, Aaron. What were your emotions as you went around the bases?
What's up, Ed? I was excited it went out. You never know on these windy, chilly nights what that ball's going to do when you hit the center here. But the ghosts for pulling it out there to Monument Park, that's for sure. But to add 2 more runs, trying to keep Weaver out of the game there, try to save him for game 3 a little bit. But just happy to add a couple more runs.
Up front to your right, Meredith.
Aaron, did you feel extra energy after that? It seemed like fans were waiting for it. They were certainly thrilled when you were able to hit that shot out.
Yeah, energy from the fans. Yeah, they were loud in the beginning. Kind of hit a lull there for a little bit, but then anytime we score runs, this place explodes. It's something special. There's nothing like it in baseball. So excited to get them something to cheer about a little bit, and then you hand it off to that bullpen to do their thing.
We don't typically see managers intentionally walk someone to get to you. Were you surprised to see them intentionally walk Soto there in that second inning?
It happened earlier in the year, so it's not really a surprise. He's been swinging the bat well recently, and trying to get a double play there, try to get him out of the inning, and I'd walk him too at this point.
Go to the second row on your right, Brian.
Rizzo was just in here. He said you guys were disappointed that Gleyber tagged up on that. How much were you guys on him?
He did that this year earlier too, on one I hit. So I was pretty pissed then, and I was pretty pissed again. But it was him and Chappie. Chappie was telling him to tag up a little bit, but like I said, you never know when it's windy like this, what the ball's going to do to center field. He's trying to get in the scoring position, so I let this one slide.
Go to the third row on your left, Aaron.
Aaron, what's the feeling of the clubhouse being up 2-0 in this series?
Guys are excited, but we still know there's a lot of work to be done. We're playing against a good Cleveland team that's all year they battled, had some tough games, went through a tough series with Detroit, taking it to Game 5 and came out on the other side. So, a lot of work to be done. So we're excited, but the guys in there are focused. You know, they're prepared. They know what needs to be done, and you know, on our way to Cleveland.
Standing back diagonal, Chris.
When you see the Guardians walk Soto in front of you, obviously the stakes are high. It's the ALCS. Do you take that personally, that they'd rather face you in that moment?
No, it's win or go home. You know, everything's on the line here. So it's just about you got to come up in that spot. You know, in that spot, you know, less than 2 bases loaded. I'm trying to get something out to the outfield or drive some runs in, and you know, luckily we were able to get 1 run there and just pass it along. But you know, every out, every inning, you know, the first inning, everything's important. So you know, they're trying to grab a couple outs there with a double play in that situation, but you know, we were able to thrash out a run.
Go to Bruce up front.
Aaron, you don't win these games, you don't win these series unless you have a multitude of guys who are contributing. What do you think of the overall efforts of this club right now?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of guys are contributing. You know, you can start at the top of our lineup with, you know, what Glaber and Soto have been doing this whole series, and even the DS just getting on base, getting things moving, and then, you know, pass it off to the big boy in the middle with Stanton. You know, you get him up with a couple guys on, something good's going to happen. So it's just, it takes a team effort. It's not going to take just one guy to carry any team, especially when you're playing the best of the best and guys are coming after you. So, and you can talk about our pitching staff. Every guy that comes out of that bullpen is they've been lights out and continue to be lights out. So it's going to take everybody if we want to get to where we want to go.
Stay there with Ron.
The way you're able to keep even keel, not getting too up after a good postseason game or get too down after a tough day, is that something you had to learn, or do you think that's just you?
I think that's what playing 162 games, getting beat up, the ups and downs of that. You know, you learn that you can't ride the highs because there's always something coming behind it. It's a tough game. It's a humbling game. You know, you can go out here and be 4 for 4 one day, and the next day you're 0 for 4, and you know, you lose the team the game. So, you know, I've been on the losing side of a lot of postseason games, and those are tough. And I've been on the other side of some good wins. But you know, all that matters is we went out there and took care of business, and you got to move on to the next one. So it's, you know, we won this game, but it's over with. Now we got to focus on game 2.
Do you think you had that attitude when you were first in the postseason, or did you learn that over the years?
I definitely felt like I had it. You know, just something you learn your whole career playing baseball, the ups and downs, and learn that this is a humbling game. But it's a game of opportunities. You got to just face every opportunity like, you know, it's opening day, and just move on from that. If you do something good, hey, it's great. But once you hit that homer and touch home plate, that moment's over with, and you got to move on to the next one. Or if you strike out, hey, the minute you get back to the dugout, it's, you know, learn from it, cheer on the guy behind you, and go try to go make a play on defense. So it's I think it's something you're born with, but something you can also learn.
Up front to your left, Peter.
Aaron, you mentioned the bullpen. I'm interested to know with Luke Weaver, when you played with him in the Cape Cod League, what were your impressions of him back then? Did he kind of have that same quirky personality? Just what maybe stood out about him?
Yeah, he was. We was a funny dude, man. He's when we were out there, he was one of the only freshmen that was out in the Cape Cod League, and he was a guy that he could get it up to 97, 98, and that, you know, kind of skinny, lanky body. Guy always had a smile on his face, but then all of a sudden when he got on the mound, it was like he turned into this different guy. You know, he was just focused, locked in, and, you know, kind of watching his career, you know, unfold. He's been the same guy, you know, funny, great dude in the clubhouse, great leader. And then when he steps out on that mound, he gets an opportunity, man. He turns into somebody else, which, you know, we've kind of rallied behind and we love, man. And that's who you want in a big situation. You know, he's not afraid of anybody. He's going to attack guys, and you know, kind of what we saw from him last year, kind of stepping up in a big role for us, and then even this year stepping up into an even bigger role, kind of being the closer. It's, you know, hats off to him and the hard work, and, you know, in the off season putting in all that time. So
Do 2 more. Joel, straight to your right.
Aaron, you mentioned in one of your answers the long season, the 162. But when it's a short season like this, where you know you could go home so quickly, do you feel some greater urgency to kind of get, like, when it isn't going your way, I need to get on the board in some way here and have some big moments?
It's just about taking every moment and try to do what you can with it. You know, it's about having a short memory. If you lose a game before or 0 for 4, it's like, hey, let's take it into my next at bat, my first at bat, the next game, and just like tonight, it's come up, they walk a guy in front of you, you just got to go up there and just treat this moment like it's the only moment that you got, and do what you can with it. And if you don't get the job done, pass it on to the next guy to pick you up, and just don't make any moment too big, man. This is still the same game we play, and we've been playing it our whole life, so that's how I try to treat it.
We'll stay over there with Bob for the last question.
Aaron, just following up on Joel's question, how hard was it to learn what you just said, to not dwell on it, especially when the crowd is anticipating, hoping for a home run every time that you get up there?
You just got to stay focused on what you can control. I've been booed here plenty of times. There's been a lot of legends that played here that have been booed. It's just part of it. You can't focus on that. You got to go out there, and they want to see you win. They want to see you do well, and you just try to focus on what you can control. And what I can control is what I do in the box and what I do on the field, and all the other stuff, you just kind of ignore it and go out and have fun.